Welcome to Deadlands Dime Novels, The Adventures of Young and Holt, Issue 4, Housekeeping. I'm your narrator, Ernest Wick, intrepid reporter for the Tombstone Epitaph. In this issue, our heroes discover who, or what, is behind the door. Now after that, they need to deal with what was found in the barn. This, of course, presumes they survived this entire door opening situation. But I'm not one to give away too many details, so let's see where they're at.
I guess it'd be more.
Gonna open it up?
Yep.
Alright. These cards been shuffled?
Yes, they've been shuffled.
Oh, if there was any card that you could have gotten, getting the Joker definitely was it.
Nice.
Doesn't matter what color it is?
Doesn't matter what color it is when it comes to initiative. Alright. You open the door. And everything just kind of slows down enough for you to react. Directly across from the door, kind of with back against the wall, is somebody's there. They're kind of sitting there, and it looks like they've put like a couple of chairs in front of them, and they're holding a shotgun aimed directly at the door. It's pointed at you. Now, you do have the Joker. So
I get to interrupt.
You can jump in front of them, and because it's a Joker, I'll actually let you make a notice roll before you tell me what action it is that you want to do.
Terrifying.
And you can add the +2 from the Joker for this because you get a +2.
All right, I'm doing that. 7.
7. Person looks familiar, but it also looks like they are bound and determined to pull the trigger.
Okay, I am going to scream, "Please don't shoot me," and dive to the side.
All right. You go, "Please don't shoot me," and then you start to move, and then boom! The shotgun goes off, and so there's like this shower of wood, but you get out of the way, splinters and everything. You hear a shotgun go off.
Would I hear him scream?
And you hear, "Please don't shoot me," and then boom! Shotgun go off. So he could have shot his own shotgun. But you were at the side door. You can still act though, because I'll let you do one more thing because you jumped out of the way. If there's anything else that you want to do,
do I recognize who it is?
Make me a smarts. Let's figure out if you do. You would get the +2 for the Joker for this as well.
So 5.
You do. It was Ingersoll, or it is Ingersoll.
Derek?
You're yelling that out?
Yes.
Okay.
Who's that? What are you doing?
Misery's End, opening door, heading in, gun first.
You definitely did not hear the word Derek yelled. So boom, you come in. You come in through, you find yourself in a bedroom, and it's easy for you because it goes maybe about 6 feet, and you can angle around the bed and get around, and you can see, as you come around the bed, you can see like a couple of chairs arranged, and it looks like someone is seated up against a wall, and it's got a shotgun aimed towards the door.
Drawing my... doesn't look like it's got any blood on him, like the things from the barn, right?
Well, there's no like hood or anything on him.
So, knowing that it's not the missing one. Missing one. Have the gun pointed out first, kind of giving myself some cover with the doorway.
Okay.
Right? And be like, "Drop the shotgun, got you dead in my sights."
And then you hear him say, "Who's that?" And you can hear him say this as well.
It's Porter.
Porter Holt?
I'm gonna hold my hat out in the doorway.
You can kind of now you've kind of angled a little bit.
and you see like this hat kind of pop out, and then you can get a better look at him, and it is Ingersoll. It doesn't look like he's in good shape, but it is Ingersoll.
You still got that bag, Ingersoll?
Is that
the one you were cradling like a baby on the train?
Oh my gosh! I can't believe it.
You want to put that thing down before you hurt somebody?
Oh,
Like me?
yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry. Come in. Oh.
All right. I'm gonna sweep the rest of the house. Just go room to room and make sure there's nothing else in here.
No, there's nothing else in here. Definitely you're in the master bedroom of sorts. Of course, the main room is living room, kitchen area, and then there's like a little side room that looks like a tiny, tiny bedroom. Maybe it looks like it had 2 beds in there.
Okay.
How on... so you followed the message.
What the hell is going on?
He does not look good, by the way. His face has got cuts on it, and so there's like blood that has gone to his face, and he's like wiped at some of it. He's kind of got like a cloth next to him, and not really sure where to...
So, there's a bloody cloth on the floor next to him?
Yes.
Is it the same cloth?
Difficult to tell, but your hunch is that it probably is. So, he kind of positions himself up a little bit. I can't believe that you actually followed through on this. Did you find Runzit Deer?
Yeah, he's outside.
Oh, good. He's a good guide. He should be able to get you there. This is good.
I'm going to make a knowledge occult roll.
Okay.
Reroll.
All right.
That's a white one, so do you get a draw?
Nope. You just get a straight up reroll on that. All right.
I've already lowered my shotgun. I'm not.
I'm going to take his shotgun away from him.
Okay. Yeah. He had set it down off to the side, and he kind of picked up his rag and was kind of wiping off his face again.
And is there a window looking out that could see the barn from the house?
Yes.
All right.
Derek, what is in the barn?
Did you go in there?
A little. I'm obviously speaking for you.
I'm watching out the window,
Yeah.
trying to listen the best I can to you guys while being able to cover the barn.
I'm sorry that you had to see that. Where should I begin? So, after I surrendered myself to those men, I suspected they weren't Sioux, and I was right. They were not Sioux.
Yeah, I told you that, you darn fool.
Oh, yeah, that's right, you did.
Right before I shot you.
Oh, yes, that's
After,
right.
actually.
It's very little sleep. So, I surrendered myself. They were members of a gang that had been hired to, they turned out to be members of a group that, of a bunch of hired guns that me and the people I'm working for have been kind of dealing with and watching for some time. They brought me into town of Worthington. I was there during the night, but it was only for a little bit before they all set out again to go out to the mounds. I'd hoped that you'd picked up the trail. I kind of had to reveal roughly where we needed to go to stay alive. I'm sure you'll understand. I'm sure you'd understand. Anyway, we happened upon this place, this farmhouse. One of the members of the group, he wasn't feeling very well. He'd been sick or something. But they were also hungry. They wanted to get some supplies. Well, the farm owner, he wasn't going to have any of that. He didn't want to help this man. He didn't trust him. I didn't blame him. And I wasn't in a position to argue for the farmer's cause. Things were starting to escalate. But before things got bad, we started hearing some strange noises in the distance outside the edge of the barn, and within moments we kind of found ourselves under attack by a bunch of other men. They were wearing red masks, hoods or something, covered their faces. It was all kind of happening very quickly. There was more than enough chaos, of course. I was able to get away from the guns, but it didn't do me very good. I caught a stray bullet, and I dropped down, and it didn't really help much. I'd already been hurt from our encounter on the train. But I stayed down.
Can only apologize so many times for that.
I don't hold anything against you. It's the heat of battle, sir. It's quite all right. And the fact that you're here already, quite honestly, is I couldn't hold any grudge against you. Anyway, I faked like I was dead. I just stayed down. The shooting must have went on for at least 10 more minutes. So everything kind of stopped. Clearly the fight was over, but I didn't know exactly what was going on, but I dared to look, and I saw that some of the guns, some of the people who had taken me were fleeing. So I figured they must have lost. The new arrivals, they had won. So I'm moving around, so I just continued to play dead, thinking they would just leave me, finish looting or whatever it was that they had come here for. But I felt one of them come up close to me. He picked me up. I fought against the pain to make no noise, and he dragged me to the barn, and it wasn't pleasant because he wasn't being gentle about it. Then I went unconscious. When I woke up, I discovered I had something over my head, pulled it off, and saw what you all saw in that barn. There was 10 others sitting around in a ring. They didn't seem to be moving, much less breathing. So I decided to get out of there right away. I couldn't stand, so I kind of dragged myself out of the barn up in here into the house. And it was then that he kind of looks over. He kind of points to a corner of the farmhouse. It was then that I discovered that I wasn't alone underneath those boards there. And you can see kind of where he's pointing. You can see kind of the separating lines. It looks like it's a trapdoor of sorts. There's somebody down there. I don't know how old she is, but I'm guessing that she can't be that old. Tried talking to her, convincing her that she was okay, that she was safe, and that everybody had left, and that I certainly wasn't going to hurt her, nor was I in a condition to hurt her. She wasn't willing to listen to me, so she's been down there the whole time. Anyway, found that their shotgun over underneath his bed, and I've basically just been kind of sitting here, resting and recovering. Wasn't sure what I was going to do at that point. And then you fellas came along. I'm so glad to see you. I can't thank you for taking my note and doing and acting on it. It's truly a blessing.
So you don't know why things are like that in the barn?
I don't know why things are like that in the barn. He kind of touches his face. He goes, I also don't know how I got these cuts. I'm guessing after, and you can kind of see as he's wiped away. Make me a knowledge Holt, and you can make, well, maybe a smart roll.
Probably gonna be a little better than his knowledge of Holt. 7.
7?
3. I'm fatigued. I'm tired.
You notice there's something about your face. There's something about his face and the cuts. All that you were able to tell is the cuts have been done in a pattern of some sort. And that's a pattern, and that's about all you can get out of it. Anyway, I had found, when I took the cloth off, there was something on my head as well. It was I can't find it. It was a necklace. Had a tooth on it.
With a bear tooth?
Yeah, I think it was a bear tooth.
I found that.
Oh, must have just came off me when I was pulling myself into. And he's dirty, by the way. You can tell he definitely did drag himself from the barn to the house.
Still raining.
Still raining outside.
Well,
Think we should get runs of deer up here?
yep. Dirty work to do in the barn.
You are going to have to tell us more about these mounds, or whatever they are, and why we're going in that direction.
Till then, get yourself in that bed and get some rest.
All right. Well, now that I know that things are a little safer. Hey, sweetheart. A couple of my friends have showed up. I'm sure you've been listening to us talk. They are friends. There's more safety here now, so you can still come out if you can come out now if you want. It's okay.
Or you can stay down there for now.
Or you can stay.
I guess we could try and make some food. I mean,
You ready to dig some holes?
I thought we were just burning.
Well, we got to give them the right proper burial. Don't want them coming back after you,
Why would they come back?
You hear stories.
You never mentioned that in your stories.
Ghosts? You never heard of ghosts?
I heard a ghost.
Well, there
I
you
heard a
go.
ghost.
They could come back and haunt you. Or the homesteaders or whoever lives here next.
I'm going to go get with runs with deer.
All right.
Or runs at deer.
Okay.
Runs alongside deer.
Runs in a parallel path with deer.
Crosses paths with deer as frequently.
I'm going to head into the barn. I'm going to open the doors.
Okay. Now, as you approach the barn, make another notice check. Are you going in? You're going back to the house with friends here, or are you going in the barn with?
Snake eyes.
Okay.
I'm not looking forward to this.
I'm gonna, yeah, because in terms of Jews, he's at the barn still, right?
He's standing, by the barn.
Yeah, I'll take him and let him rest in the house because he's still injured, and we just rode
Okay.
for a while.
He's still injured. Yeah.
And I'll leave them up there for now, and then I'll come back down to the barn to figure out what we're gonna do.
All right. You gonna wait for him to come back to the barn?
Nope.
All
Because
right.
my plan is to go in, put a bullet in each of their heads, bury them.
All right. So you're getting up close.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to walk in behind the closest one to the door,
Okay.
point blank to the back of the head.
Okay. As you're coming up with the gun,
Yep.
you do see, because now you're close enough, each one has a similar copper necklace on their head as they're arranged.
Okay.
So you can take the cloth off first, or
Nope.
you're just gonna boom.
Yep.
Okay. So all right, one down.
Was there another shovel in here I can grab, or do I need to use the one that I barred the door with?
Nope. You can. There's
right.
definitely at least 2 shovels here easily.
Grab him by the collar, dragging him out. Yes, I'm breaking 2 circles.
Yep.
Dragging him out. Heading out back behind the barn.
Okay.
Starting to dig a hole.
All right. Start digging. He's just kind of laying there. As you're digging, are you going to go in the barn? Because about the time you come back, he's dragging out a body.
He obviously went in with no problems, so now I'm going to go in and just kind of walk around it first and
In the barn?
see if there's anything else we've missed, anything like that.
I mean, everything else in here looks pretty normal and untouched. You definitely, because it's going to take him a little while to dig. Because I'm assuming you're not going 6 feet, so you're probably maybe
Just
going,
enough to cover him.
Just enough to cover him. Okay. You can kind of make out. You could definitely tell the area around here was cleared before whatever this is was done.
Okay. Is there like a table or something in here?
You can find a bench of some sort, sure.
I'm going to use a power.
Okay.
I'm going to use hunch.
All right.
So I start dealing out cards, and I'm going to use the bear tooth and copper thing that we picked up. I'm going to use that as for hunch.
Okay.
I'm going to spend my power points on this one
All right.
because it's 3, and I don't know if I'll be able to get that. And It gives hucksters insight into the past of a person, place, or thing. Assuming the hex is successful, the caster gets a vision, feeling, insight, or hunch about some event that happened in the target object or person's past. Raises on the arcane skill roll grant more information at the marshal's discretion.
Okay. So you're focusing more on the object as opposed to the person that it was on, because the person that it was on was Ingersoll.
Right. I'm hoping that'll give us an impression on the ritual itself, that sort of thing.
All right. Oh, you know you want.
I know I'm going to.
All right. Go ahead and toss it. Oh, and I get to draw a chip for that.
You do. Actually, I'll let you draw first.
Oh, wait. All right, roll. Are you doing it as a re-roll, or are you doing it as a D6?
At this point, it's going to be add would be better, so.
All right.
Oh,
God. You have one more chip.
I'll do it.
Okay. Now, just so you know, if you spend it as a white to just do a re-roll, then I do not get to
Well, then I'm
draw.
totally doing that on that.
Would that be 3d6? No, that'd be 2d6 reroll 1, or does he get the extra d6 added on from the other chip?
You would actually, I think you would spend that to re-roll your original roll. Because the d6 you did was 4. Unless you want to spend it to re-roll that d6.
I want to re-roll this d6.
Okay, yeah, why not? What the hell?
There we go.
Yeah, much better.
That's 10.
10. So the total is 10?
The total is 10.
Total is 10. All right. And imagine, because figuring the way that you kind of view hexes and your exposure to the hunting grounds and doing all this, maybe one hand you're probably doing a little card stuff, the other hand you're just kind of walking around rubbing this tooth.
I have to actually to deal myself a hand of cards and then study them is the way they have. So I'm
all right.
essentially doing tarot.
So you sit down or you stand and you kind of deal them out and you're looking at the cards and kind of running the tooth necklace through there. You look at the cards and then you start kind of the cards get kind of blurry. And then there's like a couple of little flashes, and you just start seeing images. And you see a couple of images of what looks like large furry paws, and you're kind of going across a field somewhere. And then you get a sensation of pain and a shot of people approaching you as something goes black. Then it changes a bit, and you see images of individuals wearing red hoods, large holes cut in or at least holes cut in the eyes.
Okay.
Then you catch a shot of some hills. And it's weird because it's a dreamlike shot of these hills, but they're arranged in some sort of symmetrical thing, even though you're standing in looking at them at an angle that would not indicate that they would be symmetrical. You catch a quick glimpse of something that was almost akin to a cave painting, and it shows an individual who appears to be very large. And after that, things get very, very dark and a little bit on the scary side, and you see this in like a rapid succession. It's dark, there's some torchlight, there's a pile of rocks, there is some moonlight, then there's a bunch of horses and men, then there's gunshots, then you see somebody's face getting cut in several different spots very quickly, like quick flash CSI Miami style cuts. You see some white cloths getting draped, and that's about where it ends.
Okay.
First body's buried.
Big flash of lightning and a big crash of thunder snaps him out.
Yes, there's a big thunder crack, and then
So, the one thing I do want to say is that doing that, it was more I wasn't consciously, like, I don't call upon hunch naturally. Mm-hmm. It's sort of, I know when I shuffle cards and deal with cards while I'm thinking about things, it makes me think clearer.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it happens.
Right.
Okay.
What else are you going to do when you're here? You finished the first body.
Walk around.
Come
Body
back
number
in.
2. Guy next to him on the left. Walk up behind the head.
Holy shit!
Grab him by the collar. Drag him out.
Okay.
You didn't even... You could check if they're still breathing first.
As you're dragging him, are you watching him drag him out?
Yeah, I'm watching him drag him out.
His cloth comes off.
Yeah.
Make me a guts check.
Oh.
Do you look back? Are you dragging him like this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just trying not to stumble.
3.
3. That would be a failure.
Wait, do I get a bonus from grit?
I think you do.
Each
Or
point
is
of
it-
grit adds +1 to the character's guts rolls.
Okay.
5.
5. So, the cloth came off. The face of this person is cut in such a manner. It kind of freaks you out at first because, he's just got all these cuts and there's like blood dripping down, but you can see the pattern of the cuts. And you see that face, you flash back to what you just saw when you were using hunch, and then your mind flashes to a picture of Ingersoll's face.
Yeah.
And they're all the same, and that's all you notice about this body.
Okay. I'll walk up to this one. Going to carefully take the bear tooth thing off, pull back the cloth, and I'm going to sort of use the canteen, splash water on the face to kind of clean it up a little. I'm not really going to rub, I'm not going to touch.
Okay.
Just kind of get what's there. I'm just going to try and draw the way the cuts
Oh, in the
are
dirt?
on the face.
Okay, in the dirt.
To see if it, without the blood and the face there, to see if there's anything I can see if it looks like anything, or just at least to memorize the pattern.
Yeah, that is easy enough for you to do. You can draw out the pattern, get a good look at it.
Okay.
You know, as far as how it relates to the face. In fact, you could even find like a broken piece of wood and a piece of charcoal.
Okay.
And make a decent sketch.
And then I'm gonna 2 eyes and a smiley face and a nose, just so I know how it was set on the face.
Got
that
it.
sort of thing.
Use some help digging holes.
You also can make a guts check because you're going to end up looking at that person's face when you go to pull them into the grave.
What face after a 44 to the back of the head?
Well, I did pull one off and leave it open so you can see it.
Oh yeah, you can see them when you come back in for sure.
So a guts check, eh?
Yep.
7, and I get to add my grit.
Correct.
So that would be a 10.
It is disturbing, but you are not disturbed.
I'm more pissed off that I got to dig holes alone.
As you pull this one out, his hood also comes off. Are you going to look?
Yeah, why not?
This one's got a couple of different things on his face besides the cuts, though. He has like smeared grease type things. He's got markings under each eye. There's like a separate design that's there, and it does not match the pattern.
Flip the wood over, sketch out real quick, and then, oh man. All right. Well, you're out digging holes.
Yes.
I'm going to go one by one.
And look at them.
Pull back the hoods.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
I'm on an adventure.
All right.
You are curious. Though.
I am curious.
So that's.
He also is yellow.
No, I'm cautious.
Oh, I thought you took yellow as well.
I am yellow.
Okay.
Actually, hold on. What does yellow do?
Yellow, I think.
That's
is
actually
just
important, 'cause I think-
combat. I think, isn't it?
No, I think it actually has to deal with guts checks. I should probably double check that.
While he's checking that, you're going to get a look at this individual's face. Make me a knowledge occult roll. Dice have, except for shooting people, the dice have not been on your side.
Nope, not guts check. I'm rattled, shaken, tired,
Yes,
haven't
right.
slept, getting more tired. In fact, would I need to make another fatigue check for all this physical activity?
By now, yes, you're on your third body. Was this your?
That would be a 3 for a fatigue check, which would be a failure.
Yes.
So that would be a -2 fatigue.
Yes, you are getting a little worn out. All right, so you pull all of the things off.
Yes.
Every single one of them has the same cut marks,
Okay.
done in the same way. 2 more have the same smear markings underneath their eyes that the first one had.
Can I see which ones are from the homestead and which ones are possibly from the...
You can.
Do the smear marks have anything in relation to that?
No. Well, and you're kind of looking at their clothes. You can piece together 3 of them that definitely lived here. There's 1 female, 2 males. One of the males is younger, probably late teens.
Do they all look dead?
They definitely all are dead. Make me a notice.
4.
4. All right. So you found 3 total that had the smudges, or smudge markings. 4 that did not, and then the other 3, which you figure are the homesteaders.
And the homesteaders also have the cuts, right?
Yeah, everyone has the cuts.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So you come back in. You're soaking wet.
Soaking wet and exhausted.
Exhausted. Starting to get a little chill in the bones.
And I'm kneeling in front of one of the things like, does this look right?
Tried to find some wood,
Okay.
planks, just to do some crosses.
Mm-hmm.
Stay in out of the rain for a little bit. And that way I know I've got at least 3 buried. Make 3 crosses and go out and drive them in, mark the graves.
All right.
I don't think you need to shoot them in the head. They're all dead. Well, if they're dead, I don't think shooting them in the head's going to do anything. If you wanted to save bullets. Never mind.
Are you basically going to spend the rest of the day digging the graves and disposing of them?
After we've done all this, I will help.
You'll help them, okay.
Yeah, I definitely want to make sure they're proper buried.
Okay.
And part of me wants to burn the barn down after.
Actually, also, I want to check the circles. You said one is white dust.
They're both white dust.
Are they both salt?
It feels like that, yes.
Okay. I'm not going to taste it. I gave some thought to it. I'm not going to taste it. I don't have a pouch. I should have brought a pouch. Why didn't I bring a pouch?
There's probably one in the house.
Yeah. Well, I'll finish helping him, and then at the end I will collect some of the dust just to be safe.
All right. Make me one last notice roll as you're going in and out of the barn.
One last notice and one last knowledge occult.
Notice first.
Me too?
Yes.
Nope.
Okay.
Wet, tired, exhausted.
All right, and you can
Tunnel vision.
You can make one last knowledge occult roll though, because you have 2 more of these smudge eyes to.
Okay. Oh.
7 minus 3.
4.
Yay!
Yeah. There's a little success for you. You put the 3rd of the smudge eye bodies down, grabbing that shovel of dirt, wet dirt. You go and throw it over his face, and then you stop yourself. You kind of just put the shovel down, and you kind of lean in close to his body, and you're looking at that symbol, and you realize you've seen that somewhere before. That's not an accident.
But after Joshua makes this rather disturbing discovery, Porter finishes his work and decides to lend a hand. But it is getting dark.
Once Porter jumps in to help, Runzadeer is a little bit too wounded to help out. Before sundown, you can bury at least 5 more, so there would be just 2 left at that point. It does stop raining right around dusk. It's quite dark, and you can certainly. I mean, you could find plenty of supplies in the homestead if you want to try and bury in the dark. That's not gonna.
I don't know if I want to do it in the dark.
No, I'm good.
He's too tired, and
Yeah.
I don't want to be out there in the dark.
Wet.
Okay.
Instead of putting the horses in the barn, we can put them on the porch.
Yeah.
So you can help me carry a couple of bales of hay up to the porch. Hey, city boy, chores aren't ever done on the farm. We still have to cook supper, stoke the fire.
Runzadeer can actually take care of dinner, which he does.
Okay.
And he kind of gets the homestead up and running. You mentioned there was a number of symbols.
Yes.
Or a symbol, essentially, that was kind of cut into the face of each individual.
And then 3 of them had the grease.
Yes, and there were 3 people that had grease smears underneath. 3 were, you figured, belonged to the homestead. Farmer, son, and his wife. And then the other remaining ones look like they'd been trail riders of some sort. The best assumption is that they probably belong to the bandits that took Derek, exactly. The other thing, and this is one thing that you didn't notice before, but as you kept going back and forth, dragging bodies and whatnot, around the barn there was... you didn't see it at first. You kind of missed it because you just kind of weren't looking around. But once things began to calm down, and it was raining, looks like there was almost like a small trench of some sort, kind of dug in, kind of circled around the barn. You didn't, like I said, you didn't necessarily pay that much attention to it, but you noticed though it arced away in a way in which didn't make much sense, at least to one or both of you. So you kind of start following it around, and you realize that this was not something that was dug and has been here for a while. This is something that was kind of scraped into the ground around the barn. And as you take a couple of laps going around looking at it, you realize that it is also a symbol, that it has been essentially dug, scratched into the dirt around the barn.
Didn't look anything like this.
Does not look anything like that.
We're
The symbol, though, that is around this barn in a very similar fashion, but it's a little bit rougher when it comes to their faces. The symbol around the barn matches the symbol that was cut into everybody's face. You spend the night, though. The food is pretty good.
I'm keeping the shotgun away from Derek.
That's fine. That is just fine.
He might shoot somebody.
I do want to open the little hatch leading down to at least get the smell of food to go down there.
Okay. It is locked from the inside.
Oh, well then I will not open the hatch to let the smell of food get down there.
But it does smell good. You probably can at least waft it.
I'm on my knees near the hatch going...
waving
the smell towards the hatch.
I'm going to start going through the closet before turning into the night.
Okay.
Go through the closet, see if there's any clothes in there, men's clothes that would fit us.
Yes. You can definitely find some clothing that for sure will fit you. Is there anything specific that you're looking for?
I don't need any white chaps.
Yeah. Just some pants and a shirt, basically.
Yep, not a problem.
And carry that out, and I'll basically pitch it at Porter. Say, best get out of those wet clothes and hang mine in front of the fireplace so they can be dry and wear those to sleep in.
Okay.
I will definitely follow his example.
All right. No problem. Runs it. Deer kind of does the same thing, although he doesn't bother putting another set of clothes on. He just kind of keeps whatever he has for underclothes on, but just kind of takes it easy by the fire. Ingersoll beds down for the night. He fills you in on any other details that you feel you might have missed, but you kind of get a good, complete story of what happened in regards to the whole setup. He doesn't. Well, is there anything you want to ask him?
Yeah, I want to ask him, why is he going towards the mounds? And who are these other people that are going towards the mound?
Yeah.
Now that we've got the how we got here portion out of the way.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of a long story, and I guess I owe you some form of answer. Now, I know I gotta preface all this, my friends, by saying that there's some things I can tell you, and there's some things that I probably shouldn't tell you. But considering what you've done in picking it up from a total stranger, and what you did here in many ways saving my life and the life of this little girl here, and the fact that I'm probably when I'm done telling you this, I'm going to ask you to continue because I'm in no shape to continue, and and this is something that really needs to kind of happen. I'll do my best. So, I belong to a special group. We like to just, well, I'll just call it a special group for right now. And we kind of take this role upon ourselves to, well, in a lot of ways, we're like lawmen. We're trying to make sure that the orderly march of progress from east to west is, well, orderly and safe and fair for all those that are out there. We know that there's plenty of chaos and whatnot, and what's left of California and everything else that's basically west of Kansas. But we know in the long run, and we mean of course years on this, there'll be a settling down of things, and we want to make sure that happens. There's a lot of good people back east who want to move out west and blaze a trail and bring civilization to that land, and we want to make sure that they have the best shot at doing so. Okay, so what does that mean? What does that have to do with the mounds? Well, without making you think I'm sounding too crazy about things, there's there's a lot going on, kind of, I guess, out of sight of what people see, and some of it you might think seems, well, that just seems a little unusual, and some of it you'd think would be an outright ridiculous lie. That the man, did you tell him about Blonde-Coat?
I don't think so.
Would you tell him about Blonde-Coat?
Yeah, it probably will get to the point when he starts explaining about other people, because I want to ask him about who they is.
Okay.
And then it'll probably come up in that sort of conversation.
So, yeah, before they do, who is the they?
Yes.
They're, obviously, if there's a group like me and my associates, Gregory is one of them, of course. So if there's a group like us that's trying to make sure that this happens, obviously there's going to be other groups that don't necessarily want that, because there are things out west. Well, there's things all around, but they roam a little freer out west that are definitely strange. And if I told you some of the things that I've seen, well, I know you said it's too late for that, but you would undoubtedly think that I'm crazy and probably have a little bit too much blood loss. And then probably tomorrow head back on your horses and just go back to town. But let's just presume that these giant graves are real, that these mounds are real, and that there are skeletons of a race of giants that walked this earth long before people our height and our disposition got here. And let's also presume that ghost rock, which of course is the miracle fuel that it is, and whether or not you want to believe the tales of people who say that they saw skulls and heard the cries of tortured souls when you would burn that ghost rock, let's just presume that maybe that might be true. Maybe not. But let's say that there's, obviously, if we're presuming that these giants are real, or were real, and that there had to be some sort of reason that they existed. They must have had some sort of special abilities that allowed them to be so. Otherwise, why would man have shrunk if they were even men? Maybe they were something else. Maybe they were the mythical giants that David fought in the Bible. There's all kinds of accounts of that. Well, where are those people today? What happened to them? They couldn't have necessarily all just died off. And let's say that some of the fantastical fairy tales that we heard as children, let's presume maybe that some of those are true, and that maybe there are certain things as witches or there are certain things as strange and all-powerful sorcerers. You know, I remember, and that don't even have to be of the sinister, scary nature. I've heard tales, and maybe you have, of some preachers performing just amazing miracles and bringing down the power of the Lord to help them in what they're doing. Well, how are those things possible? I mean, yes, there's all kinds of accounts of miracles being performed, but there's a reason that those things happen. And let's just presume that those reasons are real. So now that we've made all these presumptions,
Which are a lot.
And I'll leave it to you to maybe try and figure out why we are presuming so many of these things to be real. But let's say that there are those who will want to acquire things like that for their own personal uses, as opposed to something that might benefit the common good, or something to protect the common good.
Is that what you are?
To protect the common good? That's what I'm here for, yes. Now, of course, having given you a wagon load full of presumptions, you could presume that I'm also lying to you, and as we've literally only been really know each other less than 6 hours at this point, I wouldn't fault you for that. But to me, when I met you on the train, in your general rudeness to the lady next to me when you put your feet up aside, we can leave. That's a different discussion.
Or firing a loaded firearm at a friend, right?
Or firing a loaded firearm that did happen to hit me, which, again, I have forgiven you for. And
well, we're seeing how we've both almost done that to comrades now.
Well, there you go. There you go. Turnabout is, I guess, fair play in this case.
You must be the better shot then.
Oh, I almost will guarantee you that he's the better shot, even though he hit me, and I know he didn't mean to hit me. It was a heat of the moment thing, and I understand that. I judged you to be decent men when I met you on that train. And I knew that if I didn't find somebody to help, they were going to get this themselves, and I needed to find somebody to help. So, I know it's really kind of a really thin and weak soup I just made for you all, but
it's quite the yarn. Need a drink to wash all that down? Because I think I'm going to need one.
Yeah, that probably would help. Like I said, it's a weak soup, but what questions do you have that I haven't answered? Because I feel like I haven't answered it much.
What was your plan when you went to wherever you were going?
Oh, if I had made it safely to Worthington.
Yes.
You know, well, my plan would have been to meet with Gregory, of course. He was to have done some preliminary searching of guides. And then, of course, also, I think that he told you, I'm sure he told you, he was looking, making sure there was no suspicious characters, because we suspected if we knew about the burial mounds with the giants, they were going to know about the burial mounds with the giants. Worthington, as the town, was the closest town to these places. And Albert Lee train was the fastest route there. So, what if I would have found my guide? I'm not much of a gunman, but I can handle myself in a fight. I would have probably hired a couple of gunmen to accompany me, just to make sure that we got there and made sure that they were safe. Made sure that if anybody from this other side had gotten there, that they would have either been dealt with or driven off. Now, these red-hooded individuals, I'll be honest, I don't know. I don't know who these people are. They are, I can tell you for certain, they have nothing to do with the people who took me.
But they probably have something to do with the burial mounds.
That is indeed what I am thinking as well.
Because of the bear teeth.
Yes, that seems like a fair assumption.
Pull out the one I picked up that he took off his head, probably. Because every one of you had one of those. And I have a hunch that they're connected to the mounds directly.
Maybe like a cult, or maybe they have protectors.
Possibly.
Yeah. That certainly could follow. I've seen stranger.
When we were in the town, Gregory informed us, and I also saw a man playing dominoes. Blonde hair, big white coat. He had hired gunmen, and it looked like he was hiring guides to come down here as well.
He kind of like pats around. Oh, damn it. That's right. They took that. Yes, I know the description of the man. I've never met the man. I have heard a few tales of him, and now I need to try and recall on my own what... Samuel. His name is Samuel. I do not know what his last name is. I remember that part. Yeah, the blonde hair. He's one to be wary of. He has... Do you know much about the gentleman Hellstrom out in Desiree? He's a place where they make all manner of fantastical machines. And I'm sure you may have even heard some stories about near the end of the Civil War when both the North and the South were bringing out a number of interesting devices. This was not long after Ghost Rock had been uncovered. These were interesting Ghost Rock-powered devices that was beyond the ken of science at that particular time. Well, anyway... Samuel, he dabbles in those things. He's a man. He's got. I don't know what type of devices he has, but I know that he has some. So he best be careful. If should you decide to proceed, best be careful with that. Or with him, anyway. But anyway, I'm sorry. Please continue.
Oh, I just wanted to know if you knew of this man.
That's as much as I do know of him. My guess is that he is he's looking to try and find these giants for some purpose that I couldn't say. I do know that he does not work alone in the sense that there are those above him, so that he may be doing the bidding of those people. So he might be just simply on a mission to collect a sample or two, or maybe a full skeleton, or maybe to destroy them, prevent anyone from getting them. Maybe he knows more about these red-hooded people than we do. It wouldn't be the first time these folks that we've been pursuing have sometimes caught us a little flat-footed and known a few things that we didn't, much to my chagrin to admit. So, this all said, it does beg the question, I am in no shape to go, and I would implore upon you to see this out to the end. The best I can offer you, indeed, is some pay for your work to do so, as pay as a subcontractor of sorts for our organization, just to kind of help us out in this particular situation. And he looks over at Runs It Deer, and of course, we pay you as well. There, Runs It Deer.
Do you have any questions?
It's your story, Porter. I'm just along for the ride.
What? Say we got there.
Okay.
Say we drove off Mr. Samuel.
Okay.
Then what? Are we supposed to stay there? Are we supposed to... I'm confused what your final goal here is.
My last piece of information about the mounds in question where Mr. Runs It Deer is going to hopefully guide you to. Now, if you remember in the newspaper article, previous mounds have been discovered and taken care of. The last bits of information I had was the diggers and the science team, had moved on to another set of mounds. Now, of course, that's not in the paper because, well, that's not necessarily news in this particular case. But I knew that they had moved on. So I think the task at hand would be to go there, yes, drive off Mr. Samuel, and convince the lead scientist or the person in charge of their digging to perhaps wait for maybe a little bit of additional reinforcements to arrive to help protect the site, whether that's claiming the presence of bandits or these red-masked individuals, whatever needs to be done to convince them to just hold off until maybe my organization can get a few more guns out there to keep things safe. Because we do still think that should be at least explored to a certain extent. But, with the presence of these red-hooded individuals, and we don't know their numbers, we don't know their makeup, perhaps my recommendation may change. They may be able to, if they are indeed protectors, and not after these things, they might be able to do our work for us, and we can just back off and preserve the site in all of its historical beauty. I'm judging, and please, by all means, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Joshua, Mr. Young, that by the smirk on your face, you're not necessarily buying everything that I'm putting forth to sell. And I wouldn't blame you if you did. Or if you didn't.
I've seen some weirdness out there. But it can all be explained. As I down another shot.
I see. Have you always drank that much?
Oh, not always.
Yeah. Was there a time that you remember picking up the bottle like that? Was there something? I mean, a man like you, clearly, you have been around. Something must have turned you to the drink. Was it some of the strangeness that you saw? Even if you could explain it?
Oh, I think it's time for me to turn in.
All right.
Sense of deja vu.
Y'all have a good night.
Indeed.
Don't let the bandits bite.
Well, I'd be happy if they bit rather than shot me.
I'm not looking for you to make a decision tonight. This is like I said, it's a lot, and you can certainly sleep on it, and we can discuss things might be better in the morning.
I think that's a good idea.
All right.
As I'm heading to bed, I stomp on the door down to where the girl is.
Okay.
I'm like, girlie, there's food in the kitchen. If you feel safer coming out while we're sleeping, that's fine. But please, let me sleep in peace and don't slit my throat.
You get no response.
Why would a little girl? She wouldn't do that.
Little girl. Daughter. How old?
I don't know. How old is she? Do you know?
I don't know. She's not. All I heard was some whimpering noise that I could definitely tell was female. And I talked to her, and she wouldn't really respond at all.
So you talked at her?
I talked at her.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah, she never really responded. Well, all right. Well, I'll leave you to your thoughts. I'm gonna hit the sack myself. Thank you for listening. And again, whatever your decision is, thank you for seeing it out this far. And I'm sorry that what has happened to you has happened to you. He also kind of staggers off to bed.
Thanks for enjoying this issue of Deadlands Dime Novels, The Adventures of Young and Holt. Tune in next time for issue number 5, They Might Be Giants. In that issue, Young and Holt mosey to the mounds and take a closer look at what's inside. And as you might suspect, they are not alone. Deadlands and Savage Worlds are the property of Pinnacle Entertainment Group. Learn more about their great games at their website, peginc.com. And of course, thanks always to our friends at Fear the Boot. Support their Patreon at patreon.com/feartheboot. Now over there, you can get a bit more insight into our beloved Marshall's mind. And a lot more, if that pleases you. I'm Ernest Wick for the Tombstone Epitaph. And remember, everyone likes to think they are in the right. When that happens, someone is always left.